everybody. well,
This
well,
is
well,
the best experience.
and that's Ben.
That's me. That's me.
That's Big
Uh,
Ben.
oh yeah, big man. Thank you guys
Hmm.
for joining the best experience. This is Nick Best.
Oh, I'm Nick
Ben,
Best.
Big Ben, the Angry Dad. Um,
Yeah, that's Ben, the
you know,
angry
uh,
dad.
that's it. And for those who are joining, we always like
Hmm.
to welcome our new Patreon members, and we also like
Yep.
to answer Patreon questions. So
Yeah.
by joining the Patreon, we read our members that join our tiers,
Hmm.
and we also give them the ability to ask Nick questions. And by asking them questions about his career, nutrition, training, general
Hmm.
life,
Yeah.
just points or stances on something, and guess what?
Hmm.
You can ask your question. So if you ever had a question
Yeah.
for Nick, you can actually get an answer here on the best experience by joining the Patreon.
Yes, you can, which is kind of
Yes,
cool.
you can.
Plus,
That's it.
I like actually answering questions, so it's fun, especially about
Exactly.
things that I like, and training is one of them. So it's pretty
Exactly.
cool. We like to say thank you to Min, the new member. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And we'll get on to the first question. I saw people doing squats and deadlifts at the gym, followed by weightlifting. Okay. What are the differences between these types of training? And is weightlifting more dangerous? And does it require significantly more strength and tips? Can regular gym goers get into weightlifting? Thank you so much. Anybody can get into what is called it's Olympic weightlifting is what it's called. And yeah, anybody can get into it. It takes a lot more technique and it takes a lot
Yes.
more speed and balance and practice. I mean, like when you're doing a clean, you're ripping the bar from the ground, but you're accelerating it, but not super fast till you clear till right about almost your knees. And then you accelerate it, pop it with your hips, and then when you're trying to duck down underneath the bar and catch it in a rack position on your shoulders, and then
Yep.
stand up with it, and then you dip and use your legs and pop up over your head and jump under it again, and then stand upright to do a clean and jerk. And then the snatch is very similar, except for when you pop it with your hip, you're dipping underneath it and you're catching it with your arms wide behind your head
Mhm.
and dipping down and then standing up with it. So, yeah, there's a lot more, say, technique involved. I don't know about strength per se, but it's a lot more fast twitch muscle fibers, and you're definitely going to be pretty athletic when you do it.
Yep.
Um, I mean, really, basically, as far as Olympic lifting goes, I definitely recommend the clean and jerk because it's going to
Yep.
apply to strongman. It'll apply to football. It'll apply to a lot of other sports because that explosiveness when you hit the thing and catch it and then stand up with it. I mean, even doing hang cleans and stuff like that, it's really good for you. Squats and deadlift and bench press are basically powerlifting, and
Yes.
anybody can do that as well. That's actually probably even easier for people to do than technique
Olympic.
wise than Olympic lifting. It's not as dangerous. The thing that's dangerous about Olympic lifting is if you catch it wrong and you fall backwards and the bar lands on you, that type of stuff, you're in a much rougher position at times, or you go back too far with the weight and it either takes your elbow or takes your shoulder out of place.
Mhm.
Both of those can be bad. They happen from time to time, but it's not super common. But it does do some damage to your shoulders, prematurely. But you don't see a whole lot of Olympic lifters lifting past probably competing and really lifting past 10, 12 years at most. I mean, they're in,
Yeah.
out, and they're done at a pretty good rate. We can see powerlifters still doing it 30, 40 years later if they want to keep
Exactly.
going. There's no,
Even yourself. How long is that?
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I did my first one in 85 and we're at 26. So what's that tell you? Um,
Exactly.
you can do it a long time. So you can do both the sports. There's no reason not to. It's just you got to understand one's going to take a lot more technique work, a lot more practice, and stuff like that. And the other ones you're working on literally brute strength.
Yes.
The movements are actually pretty darn safe. You have to really go out of your way to mess those up. You
Yeah.
really do. I mean, it can be done, but you really got to go out of your way to mess those up. Is if you start lifting with the technique that is proper for your body in powerlifting, you're gonna it's gonna be very challenging for you to have injuries unless you're really pushing up at the upper world class level, or pushing your body to the absolute max, which the large overwhelming percentage of people can only push so hard, and then they just don't have the ability to push themselves till they break. It's usually bad technique that they break. There are people out there that once they get up to that level have the ability to push past what their body is capable of, and it possibly push themselves too hard, but it's rare. It's uncommon.
Yeah.
And you do find them. And like the kid that's training with me now, Justin, he's one of those kids. He's got that ability to push himself literally that hard, which is super neat to see because he just wants it that bad and his desire is that bad. So it's a matter of coaching him through that to take it up to the edge but not over the edge, and to learn how to
Yes.
read that difference in your body.
Yeah.
And then when you're getting near maximal weights, you got to stay kind of towards the groove when you get in there. If you get too far out of the groove, you're not going to lift it, and that's when you kind of got to really be careful. So kind of teaching him some of those things, and it's working out pretty good. The kid just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger, so it's fun to watch. It really is.
Well, when you're young like that's expected.
But the differences between the two are basically one's more explosive than the other. I mean, you can be explosive in squats and deadlifts, but when you're doing a clean and jerk and when you're doing a snatch, you got to be super explosive. And that's probably the biggest difference between the two is you have to be super explosive, not necessarily stronger, but you have to be super explosive. And then your technique doing it has to be just perfect, on it, because you're catching the weight in bad positions. That's pretty darn heavy. So that's kind of my explanation of the difference between the two. Let's see here.
Well, I want to touch a little bit on the weightlifting part,
Okay.
because because what they're saying is deadlift, squats, and we're talking about powerlifting and we're talking about weightlifting, but a little bit with weightlifting for the average goer is if you
Hmm.
get a little training, you get a little technique, and like
Yeah.
as in like get like most gyms have personal trainers, and you can kind of tell who
They're
knows what, who
the
doesn't know
personal
what.
trainers aren't going to really know
Well,
about
that's what I'm
Olympic
saying
lifting.
is, that's one of those things that you have to
Yeah.
weed out, you have to go through, and
Yeah.
and you can, and when you start learning how to transition from just going through the motions to actually mind body connection in regular weightlifting, as in you go to the gym with a purpose and a structure and a plan,
Well,
like you can
are
take
you
your
talking
body
about
physically.
weightlifting or Olympic weightlifting? Because
No, no.
I
I'm just talking about
I
like
kind of saw.
actual like not no none of those lifting at all. No power lifting. I'm talking about the average gym goer lifting, as in like
Oh,
they're just going in here for functional strength, something
right.
they can get in 30, 60 minutes, and that's regular. What we would consider accessory training. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what most people are going into the gyms where like I'm doing some lat pull downs, I'm doing some rows, I'm doing some curls, and a lot of times people go in with no understanding of how to contract the muscle or how to utilize the muscle. And something that can help with that, like I said, is doing the research, watching the videos, or like I said, you get a competent trainer to actually show you how to convert into actual like regular gym lifting. How you see most people actually weight train and weight lift. Because I
Yeah.
just for myself, I go into the gym, I see people going through the motions, but there's no connection. There's no intention behind the workout. They're just doing it because that's what they think.
Yeah, and that's like probably the biggest thing between just training and not training. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
talking about weightlifting being the accessory exercises, then yeah, you do your big three because they don't involve a lot of training or a lot of technique. They do involve some, but
Yeah.
not as much. And then the rest of that is, using the other machines. But you get on the machines for a purpose. You get on the alternative exercises for a purpose. You're in there for a purpose. You're not in there to just go through the motions. You're going in there to make yourself better. You're
Exactly.
going in there to make yourself a little bit better every time you go in. And the weights might not go up every time you go in, but going in puts the work in. You keep putting enough work in, you keep getting bigger, you keep getting stronger, and you keep getting better. And that will relate into your mental state of mind as well, because when you can go in there and you can shut off your brain and do these things and yet come back out of there, you have everything's fresh. You feel good about everything. Your endorphins are going on, and you come at things with a much, better, more positive attitude when doing that. So it helps in many different ways. Finding somebody around you that just doesn't want to take your money, but that actually wants to see you grow. If you get a good
Exactly.
personal trainer, good personal trainer should actually train you to the point where you don't need them anymore.
Yes.
They should be
Exactly.
teaching you, not here's the workout, and making you reliant on them.
Yep.
Let me say that again. They should be teaching you, not making you reliant on them. The people that are there
Yes.
making you reliant on them, well, they want to get paid.
Yes.
You're still going to progress and you're still going to do things, but they're just there to get paid. They should be there to teach you these things. They teach you what
Yep.
you don't know, and then
Exactly.
enjoy your success. And then a couple months later, if they need another new things that they haven't been taught yet or whatever else, then they come back and see you again. But your main goal is to be taught what to do so that you can do it yourself, and kind of be taught how to reach your limits yourself. You shouldn't need music. You shouldn't need somebody yelling at you or anything else. The desire should come from your heart, from in here, and your
Exactly.
will, and to be better, and to striving to make the best you that you can. It doesn't need to come from somewhere else. What you need is the help with the knowledge of there's things you don't know. We still learn things to this day. I still learn things to this day. The first thing we got to realize is we don't know everything.
Yep.
And I'll be the first to admit it. I know an awful lot. I really do, but I don't know everything. And so if you're always willing to learn, and you come in and you learn something that works a little better, and you learn something that works a little better, pretty soon you're up at the top of the mountain, or you're
That's
just the
it.
best you that you could be. Your goal could just be looking better and feeling better and moving around better. That's a great goal. I'm all for it. I really am. I just want people's quality of life overall to be better, and their mental ability, because of that, to be better. That's it. The confidence you're going to get from that is going to be massive. It really
Big
is.
time.
It just helps in everything that you do every day. But find somebody who's going to teach you, not tell you and run you through it over and over and over. Now, if you're powerlifting, if you're competing and stuff like that, you will need people that are knowledgeable to help you through your training programs and stuff like that for your 10-week, 12-week cycles, stuff like that, as far as training goes, and your linear progression and stuff like that. But even then, after a couple years of that, or even 2 or 3 times where you go through that process, you already should know how to do it yourself.
Hmm.
So, and if you're honest with yourself as you're writing these things down, you can do a lot of these things yourself. And remember, you're your own experiment. So write the things down, write down what works, write down what doesn't work,
Yep.
and do the ones that do, and throw out the ones that don't. It's not rocket science, but it's some things work good for everybody, and some things work for nobody at all. It's just
Yep.
how it is. But you have to find out what works for you the best, and start by somebody who's experienced, who's willing to teach you. And then as you move on, see people that are more experienced than you are, to add more things in, to get more points of view, stuff like that, of that you respect. Not that just like, hey, this program's the best thing that's ever been. And it's like, well, why? And how's that going to work for me? Ask questions of it and stuff like that. Well, why are they successful on it? And how long have they been successful on it? Do they continue to be successful with this for decades, or is this something that it's going to push you so far to the wall that you're only going to last like 4 or 5 years and then your career's over? So
That's it.
be very, very careful with a lot of these things. But the main thing is learn, and learn for yourself, and learn from the experience of others. The books are all fun and great. The scientific guys are all freaking congratulations. You can read a book.
Yeah.
But Henry Rollins once said, what is it? Knowledge without experience is BS.
Yep.
And it is. It's the experience that gives you the knowledge. And then somebody with that knowledge puts it in a book, and you read the book. And then now all of a sudden you read the book, and your body might not be the same as that guy's.
Yep.
Just understand that. So learn, read, get ideas, work, try, experiment, find what works for you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. On to question 2.
Yes.
We're doing pretty good. 15 minutes on the first question.
Oh yeah.
And some general ranting or just
Hey,
some stuff. All right. In competitive sports, you need to defeat your opponents in order to win. Yeah. But in strongman, the people of the community often share their experience and support each other, almost like family. Oh, yeah, very true. How do you view this kind of culture? I view it. It's fantastic. It's why one of the reasons why I love strongman so much, because you don't have a lot of that powerlifting either.
No.
Do you think the spirit of mutual support, growing together, can also be applied to other industries and society? Oh yeah, it can.
Yeah.
I mean,
It would
if
uplift so much.
oh yeah, it would uplift a lot. I mean, the goal is it's everybody uses the same technique, then it's the best guy wins.
Mhm.
And I don't mind, you know, getting beat by somebody who's just better than me. I don't like getting beat by somebody who knew something I didn't
Yeah.
and had an advantage. Like you walk into a contest and you can tell it's only your first one there, and you're just like, I don't know how to do this without getting hurt. And you're just looking at the thing, and everybody tells you after the event's over,
Yeah.
and that happens. That happened to me, and I vowed never to really do that again. If people come up to me in the contest, they ask me the question, and I'm competing against them, I'll still give them the same answer.
Yeah.
I want to win when they're on their best day, not
Not because he didn't know.
because I'm yeah. I want to win because I was better, plain and simple.
Exactly.
That being said, there are a lot of tricks, and a lot of other people, if they don't ask, I'm not telling them. I'm not going to volunteer it.
Yeah.
But
Especially
if you
when I'm
come up to me
competing.
and ask why are you doing that, I will tell you, hey, this is why I'm doing it.
Yep.
So it's just that simple. Ask people, hey man, why are you putting this on, and why are you putting spray tack on your belly and then putting your shirt on? Well, it's not nothing against it in the rules, and it helps your shirt stick to your stomach. And then you put the chalk on your stomach, and now your shirt doesn't move when you do axle cleans or log cleans, and it works a lot better. It really does. And just that might give you an extra 5 or 10 pounds on the clean and make it easier, so that when you go to overhead press, it'll make it just a little bit better. Just like using your belt on the log and using it as a shelf. It helps and makes people better. And it also prevents injuries. So that's the other thing, is the experienced guys don't want to see guys get hurt. They see guys talented. The better the sport does, the better we all do. And that's
Exactly.
something that a lot of strongmen get, because strongmen didn't start off making a whole lot of money. I remember being in a lot of parking lots, even at, America's Strongest Man, and being in parking lots, and,
Mhm.
World's Strongest Man, being at colleges
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's just,
In a hotel parking lot.
exactly. In the Commerce Casino, in the hotel parking lot. So and as the sport grows and gets bigger, and there's bigger avenues and stuff like that. So the better we all do, the better the sport does, the better we all do all the way around. So
Yep.
you want to see guys last. You want to see guys build a name. You want to see guys, go out there and do well. And it is like a team thing. It really is, because you end up training with a lot of these guys. And
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of people that know more than a whole bunch of the, you know, guys that have been doing it a long time. And so they share the information back and forth, because one, you're all friends, and two, it you don't want to see your other guys get hurt, and you want to see everybody progress. So you share the
Yep.
information with each other. Because back in the day
Exactly.
at World's Strongest Man, nobody was allowed back there. You weren't allowed to have a coach. You weren't allowed to have your wife or anybody with you. It's just all the guys, and then 2 PAs that really didn't know or care about strongman that much. They just worked
Yeah.
for the film company. And so we had to take care of each other. So we were helping each other with the suits. We were helping each other with the warm-ups. We were helping each other putting tacky on, taking tacky off, the whole thing. We helped each other with all that. So when guys do great, we go cheer them on. When and the guys cheer us on. So it's a neat
Yep.
camaraderie thing that we try to install the new guys that are coming in to keep staying on top of that. We'll go tell them. They'll start complaining about something. Go, dude, we had none of this, so you need to shut up.
Yeah.
You're very blessed to have the things that you have, because we came in and we did this. We all had to work 40 to 50 hour a week jobs to still do the sport that we love to do, and if you didn't win worlds and if you didn't win the Arnold, there was no big paycheck at the end of it. You got a little bit of prize money that would help with things, but you weren't making a living off of it. The thing that was nice though is get to the upper levels of it, and you didn't have to pay for your travel anymore, and you might walk away with a little bit of money after it. And you did it because you love the sport, plain and simple. And now it can be, I wouldn't say lucrative, but you can make a decent living at it if you're in the probably top 15 guys in the world. So it's really changed that way, and that's what we laid the groundwork to do, basically for all those years. Derek Poundstone used to talk about that. The roads we're paving now are going to lead a lot to the guys that are later, and now the guys that are later are taking advantage of it, and the girls are even coming in, and the lighter weight classes are doing the same. So they're going to have all the same problems that we did with. There wasn't a lot of money behind it and all these things, and eventually they'll get there, but it's going to take a while. And they got to understand you're not going to get rich off the competitions doing it, and until it reaches that kind of popularity in the world, and more people are sitting down watching it. The more it goes on TV, the more exposure it gets. We act like good people and stuff like that, and be giving and have people care. It's going to make the sport do better. If the sport does better, we all do better. So so it's kind of neat.
For a
And
lot of industries.
yeah, and I think a lot of industries, especially based in the same country, could really gain a lot for that, especially when you're working towards a common goal. It helps a lot when you don't have to, want to hang out with everybody that you work with, but you do need to figure out a way to get along with them and work as a team to get things accomplished. And yeah, I think that would go a long way just in all kinds of industries, the automobile industry, the construction industry in California. Good luck getting things approved and stuff like that. There's so many things that, could be improved by just simple things, but it's not a perfect world, but we're trying.
Exactly.
But I do think that would help. I really do.
I do too.
All right. All right.
And those some good questions this week.
Yeah.
Next month, at the end of the month,
Mhm.
is World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
After the Arnold, do you think a lot of these guys are going to be able to be recovered from that to be able to go into World's Strongest Man and be able to peak? You set themselves up to peak for it?
Yeah. The distance between the two, I think, is about 6 or 7 weeks, maybe even 8. So I think that's a fairly decent amount of time. I've had to do them 3 weeks apart, 4 weeks apart, and that's really difficult to recover from. And that's where you're really running on fumes, and you just got to come in and hope everything holds together. I think they've had enough time to get through it in one piece. I think the guys that are smart, that build up to it pretty good and back off a little bit, knowing they're not going to get any weaker. They just have to do things for their mobility and moving and running and stuff like that, and back off on the weights a little bit for a few weeks, and then come in like the last probably at 4 weeks out, have 2 like crazy weeks of training, and then shut it down for a week, and then just a week for prep, and then for like resting and recovery, and then just go let it fly. There's a couple competitors that didn't do the Arnold and some of the other things that are been training, who's recovered from injury, that should be pretty interesting when they get there. But I think the man to beat super. It really is.
Yeah, he's coming in hot.
He's coming in hot. He's back in form. He's ready for a lot of the things that they're going to throw at him, and it's going to be fun to watch. And it looks like he's probably going to be able to recover in time to be full go by the time he gets there. So it's going to be fun to watch. It really is.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. It's definitely going to be ready to see. Because like I said, is Rhino going to be able to come in and repeat, or is it going to go back to Mitch, Tom, or the people that are in contention?
Yeah. I think Mitch and Tom will just be battling head to head at this thing. I really do. I think Evan Singleton, will be right up there. I mean, Trey, Austin. I mean, all the guys that were just in the Arnold are going to be
Yeah.
able to
It's gonna
be
be
up
a
there
nasty
fighting them
lineup.
hard.
Yeah.
And Martine's being back.
Yep.
That's going to be
That's a dark horse
interesting.
right there to me.
It is, because I don't think he was super. The way I kind of know Martins and have seen him compete, he's probably not that beat up after the Arnold. He usually has to do 2 or 3 of these things in a row for him that are close together for him to get super beat up. And his training was
Yeah.
really good getting ready for it. So I could see, him making another podium again,
Yeah.
like what he just did at the Arnold.
Yeah.
I really can, because these would be good events for him. There's going to be max log. That he did okay in the Arnold, and then, but at the end of the day, it's going to be who can beat Mitch if he comes in healthy.
Yep.
And the way these events are, we'll see. But there's a reason why we do it. There's a reason why we do it. There really is. So it'll be fun to watch. But I can see, Tom, Martins, Mitchell, Austin, and even wow, I'm doing good today. Evan Singleton, being up in the top 5. If Evan's healthy, look out.
Yeah.
I know he tore that pec off, but it's been a while.
looking
He's
better
had the
and better.
surgery. He's better and better, and it looks like he's getting more focus into what he's doing. I would like to see him stop banging his head into anything and
Yeah.
focusing that, instead of relying on the rage, rely on concentration. If he
Yes.
ever does that, that guy's going to be untouchable. He really will. And I hope someday,
It's gonna click one day, and
I
we're
hope
gonna see
someday
a
Nico
completely
can
different
coach
composed person.
that into him before he gets old.
Yeah.
But
Real. Real.
but I love that guy. I really do. I love all these guys. I mean, they're great friends. I love them all. I truly do, and respect them all. I
Exactly.
mean,
It's always fun when we get to hang out with everybody, because that's how it always comes. So,
yeah,
for those listening, we will be at World's Strongest Man, and we
yeah.
would definitely like you guys. You see us, come say hi
Yep.
to Nick,
Come
take
up,
a
say up
picture.
high, take a
Yeah, get an
picture. I'll talk
autograph.
to you guys. I love talking to people. So the only time I got to leave is if there's a time restraint where I got to be somewhere. Other than that, it's
Yeah.
cool. Or I haven't eaten,
Yeah,
things like
exactly.
that. But I do love talking to people. I really do. I love sharing things with people and knowledge and just enjoying life. So yeah,
Exactly. And then
there's that.
after that, we have the enhanced games. You know what I'm saying? So
In
we will
Vegas, yeah,
we're that'll be in Vegas. So we're trying to attend. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. We're trying to figure out how to get in there.
exactly. If anyone
So,
listens to this podcast happens to know somebody, throw us a
mhm.
DM. But
Yeah.
I'll be reaching out to see if we can. Because like I
Well,
said, that's your hometown.
I don't think they're selling tickets. I think it's invitation only.
Yeah,
So it's going to be one of those things where, hopefully we get to go. I would love
exactly,
to.
exactly. So
So
that'll be in May in Las Vegas.
Vegas,
We didn't
Vegas.
have much to cover
My
this week.
voice when I got a cold, I'm like super deep.
Exactly. Nick's feeling a little under the weather, and so we're gonna, Oh, Nick, give us an update on your mom. How is your mom doing?
Oh, hey, cool. Mom's doing well. She got in a car wreck. It rolled over like 4 times. She broke 8 ribs in her wrist in 2 spots. She's 75. I love my mom. I really do. She's doing pretty well. She's up. She did 3 laps around the hospital today, which is
That's
cool.
good.
It's about a lap around the indoor part of the hospital that she's at is probably 150 yards per se.
Oh, okay. It's
So
pretty good distance.
it's a pretty good distance. She did three laps today. So two of the laps were without the walker, so that was good.
Yeah.
She's getting stronger. Her balance is getting better. We just got to make sure she doesn't fall or do anything to crack any of their ribs.
Yeah.
Now that they're starting to heal up pretty good, so she's
Yeah.
pretty tough. She really
That's
is.
what
I love my mom to death. So she's pretty tough, and she keeps healing and doing better. She could end up coming here to stay a couple weeks after she gets out of the hospital. That way, it's easier for
A
her.
little more assistant. Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah, she's closer if anything does, if anything does go wrong, and then she
Everyone's a lot
can
closer
also,
too.
yeah, everyone's a lot closer, and then she can, she needs to, she can go out and walk on the street and walk on the sidewalk and stuff like that. When she's out at the ranch, you got to walk out and walk on all the rocks and stones and
Exactly. All
stuff in the street. And
exactly.
it's not very smooth. So
Yeah. We don't want that for.
Yeah. Plus, it'd just be
Well,
nice to have my mom here for a couple of weeks. I wouldn't mind.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, Nick,
So,
I know I said I wanted to keep this a little tight because I didn't want to hold you up too long because you weren't feeling well.
yeah.
So I do hope you feel better, my brother, and take us on out of here.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll feel a lot better. I mean, I already feel better than I did yesterday, and I've only had it for like 2.5 days. So it's moving fast. But anyway, be good to everybody out there. And you know what? Train hard, train smart, and be the best you can be. Don't worry about anybody else. Be the best you can be. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do. Go out there and be great.
See you guys next time.
Yeah. See you guys next time. And thank you very much.